Okay, so let's begin on our backs. Take your bolster and bring it horizontal across your mat and then lay down with the bolster underneath your knees. Bring your arms alongside your body with your palms face up. So just a show of hands, who has been to a yin class before? Okay. All right. So welcome and welcome back. I want to bring you back to the practice of grounding. So feel the ground below you. The qualities of the ground, the firmness, the strength, the stability, but also like the support and the nurturance. And come back to your breath. Remember those long, slow, deep breaths. Every time you breathe in, think about filling up your belly like a balloon. And every time you exhale, release the belly back towards the spine. If you can, take this moment to be as present as you possibly can. Laying on a deck in Costa Rica, the breeze from the ocean on your skin. The sound of cicadas in the background. That away. Oh, my heart. Anyway. And if your mind has wandered, bring it back to your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out. And then when and if you feel ready to move, I want you to reach down and pull the bolster out from underneath your leg. Bring it off to the side or below you. And then reach your arms up over your head and reach your legs away from your arms. Stretch your body, full body stretch. And then slowly start to walk your arms and your upper body over to the right. Keep your spine on the ground. And then start to walk your legs over to the right. Like you're like a banana. And be present. Because I notice if I walk too far to one side, that I start to cramp, kind of like in my lower back. So just find that place where you can feel a stretch on the left side of the body, but you're not stretching so far that you're so uncomfortable because we're going to be here for a while. Come back to your breath. Deep breaths in and out. And connect to the stretch on the left side of your body. Maybe even feel it from your feet all the way to the tips of your fingers. Or not, that's okay too. And breathe. You have an option while you're here. You can stay right where you are, or your right hand can take a hold of your left wrist, and one of your ankles can cross over the other. Couple more breaths. When you feel ready, come back through center, finding a straight line in your body. Reach your arms and your legs away from each other. And we'll transition to the other side. So start to walk your arms and your upper body over to the left. Walk your legs over to the left. And then find that spot where you feel a stretch, but you're not pushing it too much. And connect to the stretch on the right side of your body. The same option here to remain right where you are, or your left hand can take a hold of your right wrist. One ankle crosses over the other. One more breath. Bring yourself back through center. One more time, reach your arms and your legs away from one another. Full body stretch. Bring your knees into your chest. Take a hold of your legs with your hands and start to roll back and forth on your spine. It's coming up to sitting, rolling back again. A few more rounds. And when you feel ready, come on all the way up to a seat. And then come up onto all fours. And tuck your toes under. And then sit back on your heel. So reach back and double check all 10 of your toes are included if that pinky fits. Some of the pinkies are up there really high and they don't want to be included, and that's okay. And then sit back on the heels. Now, I did say earlier, like, if it hurts, don't do it. This is the only pose where I'm going to be like, it just hurts. It's like literally the worst pose and the best pose. So at the base of your feet is a bunch of tissue called your plantar fascia. And the plantar fascia gets really tight because we use shoes. And if your feet were like super healthy, this pose wouldn't hurt. Isn't that crazy? Today when I was like getting cupping, it was actually pretty painful. And in my head, I'm like, it shouldn't hurt. So I'm just gonna like let it because I know that it's like doing its job. So breathe. This really is a practice of mind over matter. So that plantar fascia actually starts an entire myofascial line that it begins at the base of your toes. It goes all the way up the bottom of your foot, over your heel, up your calf, your hamstring, your butt, your back, all the way up your neck, over your head, and then attaches, literally the terminus is your eyebrows. And it's really funny because a lot of people have really amazing eyebrows with some help. So like tattoos, right? This can be a reason why someone might have foot or ankle problems. This could be a reason why someone has low back pain. How amazing is that? And this pose is actually helping. So another breath, okay? And then I'll get you out, I promise. The longest breath ever. And then come down onto all fours. You can untuck your toes. Some people really like to tap the tops of their feet on the mat. That feels nice for you. Feel free to do that. Ah, yeah. And then keep the toes untucked. Sit back on the heels once again. So this is the counter pose to toe tuck, or one of my students always calls it toe hell. This is called ankle stretch. So I actually think this pose is like 10 times worse than the one we were just doing. So you have an option to stay here, or you can bring your hands to the mat and lift the knees up off the mat, or not. Totally up to you. So you can maybe feel the stretch on the top of the foot, the fronts of the ankles. I met a teacher that told me if you're tight in your ankles, you're tight in every joint in your body. So this is one of the best poses that you can do to start to loosen up the entire body. So breathe. I went to a yin class in San Francisco. This is when I was doing the whole dissection thing. I had a friend with me, and we went to a yin class, and the teacher started the class with 15 minutes of toe tuck. And my friend got into a yelling match with the yoga teacher. She was so angry. And then when she came out of it and just like sat for a minute, She was like, oh, I'm sorry for what I said when I was in toe tuck. It was entertaining to watch. Remember your breath. It is a tool. Long, slow, deep breaths in. Long, slow, deep breaths out. What is so cool about this practice is that within the pose, like holding it and wanting to get out and maybe activating the nervous system, like, I gotta get out. We lean into it and breathe. Recognizing I can do this. I'm okay. So this is another practice for toning your vagus nerve. Especially if you feel like I'm going to die if I hold this any longer. What is wrong with this woman? Breathe. We won't be here forever. This too shall pass. Like literally everything. One more breath. Take your time coming back all the way onto all fours. Walk the hands forward a little bit. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Oh. Walk out your ankles, your knees, your hips. Oh, in a minute, I promise it'll feel really good. And when you feel ready, come back down onto your knee. Bring your ankles out to the side. Actually, don't. Stay on your knees. I want you to keep your hips above your knees and walk your hands out in front of you and bring your chest down towards the mat. So the practice here, it's called puppy pose. It's like a child's pose with your butt in the air. Yeah. And so maybe the chest coming all the way down to the mat is a lot. So this is where props are quite helpful, actually. If it like hurts and it's just so much work, bring a block or a bolster under your chest. And then rest either your forehead or your chin on the mat. Yeah. And breathe. This is called Anahatasana. So it's heart melting pose. It's a big shoulder stretch. And so it's kind of like toe tuck, like it's a pretty harsh pose. So just know we are not going to be here like as long as we held the bananas. And breathe. Notice what you feel in your body. Notice where you feel it. Couple more breaths. Long, slow, deep breaths. And then when you feel ready, however feels right to you, come out of the posture. Maybe you bring your chest forward. Come up onto all fours and then run through some cow cats or anything else that feels good for you. Oh. And then when you feel ready, come all the way down onto your belly. When you're on your belly, untuck the toes and then bring your elbows below your shoulders. Rest your hands on the mat and look ahead, or if you want to stretch out your neck, let your head hang. And breathe. So there's 3 principles to a yin practice. They're also known as tattvas in Sanskrit. And the very first one is to find your edge. This is a really great practice, not only within yoga, but within our lives. Dang. Might get you to move your elbows forward. Yeah, so it's more of a compression in your low back. Yeah, does that feel okay? Okay. So what do I mean by find your edge? Bernie Clark, who's like a yin master, talks about like the Goldilocks edge. Basically, you have like 3 types of people, right? You have like the Papa Bear that comes in and just like goes as hard and as deep as they possibly can because they can't feel anything unless they're really pushing it. And that becomes a problem because the second rule is to be still. So if you think about it, if you go into the pose like 100%, it's pretty hard to maintain over time. And then we have mama bears. Mama bears come into the pose like and barely feel it, right? They maybe don't want to be uncomfortable. So you could remain still for a long time, I'm sure, but there's not really like a benefit to it then. So then there's like the baby bears, right? Finding that edge is, it's just right. I would say if I gave it a number, it would be like 70 to 80%. That 70 to 80% allows us to be still. And I'll explain later why we want to be still. It's like feeling the stretch and knowing you can go deeper, but not. Because the going deeper will probably create more suffering. And then the third tava is to commit for time. So the thing is, you don't know how long we're committing for. So what really helps is to come into the pose and find your edge. And then to be completely still. Like no adjusting, no itching, no swiping away sweat. It's literally just like, don't move a muscle. And then notice what happens when you don't move a muscle. What happens usually is like you notice your propensity to like constantly be adjusting. And then to do that until we come out. In Sphinx pose, the focus really here is the compression in your low back. I always have like weird visuals. So I always imagine like this big spiritual zit on my low back that I'm like pushing from either side, like compressing, building up the pressure to just release all my tension, all my stress. Again, just notice where your thoughts are at. Bring it back to your breath. And then very, very slowly start to bring the elbows out to the side. Bring your hands one on top of the other and rest your head on your hands. This is like, I bring all my attention to my low back, the release of stress, the zit pot. Oh. And take your time. Lift your head off your hands. Bring your shoulder or your wrist below your shoulders. Bring yourself back up onto all fours. Take your knees out as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes together. Push your hips over your heels. And walk your hands out in front of you. You can rest your forehead or your chin on your mat. And bring your attention once again to your low back. Remember the practice of finding your edge. Try again to commit to stillness. And then be here for time. Back to your breath, long, slow, deep breaths in. Long, slow, deep breaths out. If your feet fall asleep, just notice it. Nothing you have to do to adjust. You're not in danger. So breathe. Long, slow, deep breaths in. Long, slow, deep breaths out. One more breath. Bend your elbows. Come up onto all fours. Bring the knees back so they're underneath the hips. And either cross the ankles behind you or bring them out into the side. Take your bolster, bring it behind you vertically to the length of your spine. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open again. It's a great practice if your knees kind of like stay up high to bring some blocks underneath to support them. And then when you feel ready, lay back on your bolster. Now just take a moment, couple things before you settle in. So this is part of finding your edge. Are you warm enough? If not, grab your blanket, bring it on you. You could even take your blanket and put it over your belly for like that little added weight. Or maybe roll it up and put it underneath your neck or your head. Yeah. The practice of yin really is finding the comfort within discomfort. Which imagine that as a practice in life. I feel life can be really uncomfortable. Sometimes being in my own body can be uncomfortable. And it's that which I choose to focus on that grows. Like where my focus goes, my energy grows. So while you're in an uncomfortable position, holding for long amounts of time, what can you do to alleviate some stress, some tension? Can you continue to breathe? To let go. Stay focused on your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths in. Long, slow, deep breaths out. And you have the option to stay right where you are for the completion of our class, or you can readjust yourself any way you want, coming into your own version of Shavasana. Settle in, breathe. Turn your head from side to side. Pull your knees up into your chest, hug them in. Roll from side to side. Eventually rolling onto one side. Feel free to use your bicep as a pillow and take a breath here. When and if you feel ready, bring yourself up to seated with the strength of one of your hands. And keep your eyes heavy. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. Roll your shoulders down your spine. And take a long, slow, deep breath in. And let it out with a sigh. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Return to your normal breath. Option to bring your hands together at the center of your chest. Bow your head. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice this evening. From my heart to yours, namaste. And so once again, same practice, we'll leave the space in silence. You can leave your stuff right where it is. You can also, if you want to, like put blocks back, bolster, but also take a chance to be cared for maybe.